Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning meditation. It has been a big week, and I was thinking of what can we do to support ourselves in being in the flow, which is our goal this year, our purpose, our goal, when so many things are happening in the world that we have our opinions about. And if we don't have our opinions, we have to deal with other people's opinions about them. So, of course, the purpose of our Monday morning meditation is not to be political, not to be, um, to offer any ideas other than how they support our meditation time during our time together as well as throughout the week. And it doesn't mean that our meditation time and our practice, our skills, are not serving us all week long, because they are. And one of the techniques we've used many times before on Monday mornings that that stood out to me as valuable this week is our quick breath, our counting our breath. Because not just during our meditation time, it does a wonderful job of settling us in and coordinating our mind and our body and relaxing and helping us to be in the flow within ourselves. But we can use that breath no matter where we are, what we're doing, what's happening, what we're dealing with. And that is a very good skill when we have something that comes up in our world that, you know, releases our emotion, which those things will. Our job is to maintain our center, even in the midst of those emotions. It doesn't mean they don't come up. It doesn't mean we pretend they're not there or we feel shame because they're coming up, or, um, that we just kind of stuff them back in and pretend that we don't have to deal with that. We do. We absolutely need to address our emotions that come up. But it's so much easier to ride the wave of the emotion and address the situation after that wave of the emotion has brought us to shore and solid ground. So, our being able to grab onto that quick breath, any kind of slow, calm breathing when our emotions arise, helps us to, again, ride that wave of emotion. You know what I'm talking about, that emotion. Something happens in the world, and all of a sudden we feel activated physically, our mind feels kind of cloudy. Sometimes we feel like we want to act or need to act right away. Other times we feel like we are going to shut down, or we are suddenly shut down and we don't want to deal with anything, or we don't know how to proceed. Those are the times to not proceed. Those are the times to um, go, okay, I don't know what to do right now, but I know I need to breathe. I just need to breathe and get into my clear space, my clear thinking space, and move back into my Zen zone, so to speak, move back into my calm body, calm mind. Then I know what to do. Then I know how to proceed. And sometimes there are action steps to take. Sometimes there's just a trust in things working out, not the way we want them, but that we will move to the other side of this eventually, whatever this might be, that we want to move to the other side of our emotion. That's what we have control over. We don't have control over what's happening on the outside as much as we'd like to, as much as we'd like somebody else to, but we do have control over what's happening on the inside. And that's that's all we can do until we're so moved or guided internally or externally, we feel compelled to do something in the world. That's great. That's not what we're doing during our time on Mondays, but that's wonderful. But our job is to do it from a clear space inside of us. It doesn't mean a calm, happy rainbows and butterflies place, but it means that whatever we do, we're doing it from a clear space. And we know that whatever next step we're taking is the right step for ourselves. So to get into that clear space, we're going to practice with our breath this morning. Our quick breath is our HeartMath. I learned this at a workshop, my gosh, several years ago, many years ago. um, and it's, HeartMath is an organization that's been around that has studied what they call mind-heart coherence, coherence from the heart. Really, it's a biofeedback thing. I don't really know much about it, honestly. I just like this. I like this technique that I learned, and I want to give credit to HeartMath because that's where the presenter said that he got it from. So giving credit where credit is due. But I love the technique. HeartMath has done a lot of research over the last several decades about, what is our best breathing activity that gets us into that heart space, that gets us into that calm, peaceful center, um, where we know that we're coming from the highest place possible within ourselves, the clearest place possible within ourselves. And what they have found is that breathing into the count of 4, breathing out to the count of 4, and just continuing with that, the mind focusing on the breath moving in and out at that pace shows that generally for most people, that is the pace of breathing that brings our body into a state of calm, meaning the body feels safe, it's not activated. When we're breathing shallowly or not breathing at all or hyperventilating, there's not that balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in our system that we need. And that agitates our nervous system. When we think of our physical state of being, if we're hungry, that agitates our nervous system because our nervous system is about survival. And so if there's anything going on with us in our mind or the body that isn't right, lack of sleep will do that. Even if we're not hungry, but we're not eating in a way that is giving our mind body system, our bodies, sustenance, so we're eating a lot of processed foods and not a lot of whole foods. Our body feels that lack of nutrition, and the nervous system starts revving up like, something's wrong. And so that breath helps the body to be in a space where it feels nothing's wrong. And when the body feels in that space of right here, right now, regardless of what's going on the outside of me, nothing is wrong. I am safe. And that calms the mind. So all of this works together to calm that mind body system that is inseparable and works together for so long as we are in our bodies, right? That's not all that we are, our mind and body, but that's what we're working with in this quick breath. So I invite you to get comfortable in your meditation space this morning. Let me just start off with a couple of deep breaths to settle into our chair, bed, floor, wherever you are resting this morning. It signals the mind and the body that we're switching gears. We're going from our morning activity, from my talking and the words and the content, to just being. Just being. A couple more deep breaths, just right where you are, just to feel your body, feel the weight of your body in the chair, your feet on the floor or resting up wherever they are. If you have your feet up, you feel the backs of your legs and your heels resting. on whatever surface they're resting on. You feel your back leaning up against a cushion or a pillow, or just pay attention to your breath right now. It doesn't matter how it's coming in and out, just notice its pace. Notice how the rest of the body feels as that breath comes in and out. Now we're going to focus on our quick breath method, just breathing in through the nose to the count of 4, and breathing out through the nose to the count of 4. If you want to breathe out through your mouth, you can, but I just really want this to be as natural as possible, even while we're counting, even while we're taking breaths that won't feel natural right away. And we're going to count, going to do our counting at first, but don't feel like you have to follow along with me. Just do your own counting, do your own breath. I'm going to breathe in to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 2, 3, 4, and inhale 2, 3, 4, and exhale 2, 3, 4. And don't worry if you need to go faster or slower than my count. This is about your own count of 4. Perhaps you need a count of 5 to inhale completely. No, we're not even inhaling completely, just rhythmically. To the same count each time, the same count breathing in, the same count breathing out. Maybe you only get to 3 with your counting. So then just breathe into 3 and breathe out to 3. But aim for 4 to the best of your ability. And really feel your focus on that breath and the counting. And if your mind is bored or it gets distracted, just bring it back to that breath. We don't have to worry about what the rest of the body is doing. All we have to do is focus on the breath. You might find it's easier to take those breaths as you continue your counting. You may begin to feel a synchronicity with your body, that your body is cooperating with the breath a little bit more. You may notice that the breathing is inhaling more smoothly, exhaling more smoothly. And as we continue that breathing, the counting may be easier, maybe lighter. Maybe you notice your inhalations and exhalations moving at that pace without having to count. Just feel the smoothness of that breath. There is a synchronization that goes on between the breathing and the body. All the cells come in alignment, all the body functions come in alignment with that relaxed breath. It's called coherence for a reason. There's a coherence within the breath, there's a coherence with that mind body movement, relaxation. The attention is inward on our breathing. And for this time, the world disappears. And we are fully present with ourselves. We are fully present with the breath. Let's just continue that right now, watching the breath. And when the mind wanders, just bring it back to that calm breath, moving at its own pace now, clear and easy. Feel that clarity in the body. And perhaps you can feel it's like sitting in clouds, fully supported. Just bring the mind, your focus back to the calm breath in the body, leaving all thoughts behind. Focusing on the breath. The mind is used to getting into stories, being distracted by all sorts of things. So we're just practicing not indulging that mind in any story. And we're just focusing on the breath. Notice that peace and that clarity from the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet. And if you're able to continue just being with this breath, I invite you to do so. If you need to, just go about your day. Take a couple of deep breaths to again let your mind and body know that you're switching gears. Feel your body in your chair, your feet on the floor, your room all around you, its solidity and the air on your skin. And our breath is such a beautiful way to tap into that state of peace and that clarity of mind that we own. We have responsibility for. We have responsibility to maintain that to the best of our ability. 24/7 is great if you can do that, but if not, at least being aware when we're not in that peaceful state and bring ourselves back to it with such a simple breathing tool to help bring us back to that center, to that peace, to that clarity of thought and decision making, which is where we want to be coming from and where we need to be coming from and where everyone around us needs us to be coming from. Whether they are able to or not, if we're able to, that's going to make a huge impact to whoever is around us. So I invite you just to keep working with that this week. Thank you for being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.